Hello, I welcome you to today's program. I'm excited to present this topic to you because if you listen from the beginning of this video to the end, you are going to gain a lot. And if you are struggling with your own enterprise, with your own business, you will understand the reason or how you can turn around that business. Today, I am talking on how to avoid the failure of startups, because in today's world, most or many startups, they fail. They don't see them after 2 years, after 3 years, even some after 5 years, they don't succeed, neither do they scale. Why? What is responsible? And that is why I am handling this topic today that says serving before starting your own. Serving before starting your own. Now, recently my wife went to buy a bag of rice in the market. She came back and she told me she bought this bag of rice in a shop of a boy she saw serving about 2 to 3 years ago. That the boy is now on his own. Yes. And she talked with the boy. The boy said, yes, he is now free. He is now free. His madam has set him up where he was serving before. It was a madam, it was a woman that was there. Now, in today's world, most young men and women are in a hurry. Not just in a hurry to succeed and move on with life's demands, but they are also in a hurry to do things that can only be done from practical experience. Now, let me give you an example. Listen to this. Like the boy I mentioned, you want to sell rice. You need to serve someone first, not just for 1 year. Now, serve for more than a year in that place. You want to teach others how to travel abroad. Have you yourself traveled abroad? I see unmarried boys and girls, and they think they are men. Unmarried men and women counseling others about marriage. They want others who want to marry, and you have not married before. Maybe because of the things you read from books and the things you have seen in homes. That's not enough for you to counsel others. It pains my heart when I see young boys. They say they are apostles, they say they are pastors, they say they have never done home caring fellowship or served under a house caring fellowship. They have never done a Sunday school. They have never served under pastors. They have never gone through the different processes of church ministry. But they said they are prophets. They said they are apostles. They said they want to open and operate their own ministry. Life is not that way. Now, can you imagine somebody who has never sold in a supermarket? He has never sold in a provision store. He wants to open a provision store. He wants to open a supermarket. Somebody who just learned a skill. He has never served with that skill. Maybe tailoring, maybe plumbing, maybe graphic design, maybe programming, things like that. But because he's so good at the skill, he thought or he thinks he can just start to open a consulting firm, to be advertising for people. No. Listen to this. When you were learning tailoring, let me ask you a question. You want to open your tailoring shop now. Do you know where they buy machines for tailoring? The different types of tailoring machines. Do you know where they sell the materials? Do you know how much those things? Now, did you ever serve your madam to a point where madams can leave the shop for you and she will not worry? Listen, you learn plumbing, you learn graphic designing, you learn programming. Listen, serve under a master. Learn how the master is getting contracts. Learn how he's advertising or she's advertising her business. Look, life is not success, it's not just acquiring a skill. I want to say it again. Success does not come just by acquiring and be so good at the skill. There are other things, marketing, advertising, human relationship, customer treatment, that are attached to that skill that you have learned. So listen to this. The place of serving and serving for long is no longer valued by the young men and the young women of today. Now, this is the major reason most startups fail or they do not stay. Why? Because young boys and young girls, they want to be Oga. Who is Oga? I want to be on my own. I want to be a leader. No. If you want to succeed and succeed well, serve long. If you want to grow and still be there, succeeding after 10, 20, 50, 80 years, learn to serve and serve well under correct leaders and masters, not just under mentors. Mentors are good, but see, you can be mentored by a book. You can be mentored by a distant person. There is a difference between a master and a mentor. Should I repeat that for you? Listen, if you really want to make enduring success, listen to this. There is a difference between a master and a mentor. Hey, which of these do you have? I want to ask you the question. Which of these two do you have both or you have one? And if it is one, is it a master you have or a mentor? I am not talking about serving from a distance, but serving under close supervision, correct supervision, and continuous supervision. I want to repeat those things. If you really want to succeed far and deep and wide, listen, serve under close supervision, correct supervision, and continuous what? Supervision. After learning a skill, make room for service. After learning a skill, do what? Make room for service. If you have to pay to get into very good places to serve, please pay. I don't know how much I can emphasize that. If you have to pay, after you have learned a skill somewhere, if you have to pay in another place to serve, listen, in a good place, in a correct place, look, pay to serve. But if you see a place, a very good place that will pay you as you serve, then grab it with two hands. I want to repeat that. I said, if you see a very good place that will pay you, even if it's small money, as you serve, grab that place with your two hands. Okay? Because I can't emphasize today's topic. All I am saying is you don't rush to start your own. Until you have adequately served and you are released, don't rush. Those of you graduate from the university, I don't know if you have watched that video, please check it in the description below. Yes, we said volunteer yourself, volunteer your skill, volunteer your time, volunteer your service. Paper qualification cannot be compared to hands-on practical daily training and experience. What did I say? I said paper degrees or paper qualifications. Maybe you learn graphic design or video editing or something like a digital marketing, and then they gave you a certification. Or you learn engineering in the university, you study agriculture in the university, you study education in the university, then they gave you a paper qualification. Listen again, paper qualifications cannot, no matter the number of certificates you have, if you don't have practical experience, paper qualifications cannot be compared to hands-on practical daily training or experience. So the question now is, how long should I serve before starting my own? How long should I serve before starting my own? Listen to this. Do you really want to hear the answer? Do you really want to hear the answer? My blunt answer is, after your training, serve for an average of 3 years. Oh my God. Can you wait? Can you serve? I said, after your training, serve for an average of 3 years. That is, it can be more. It can be more. Now, let me tell you one thing if I go on. Now, both the master and the servant must know that a servant master or a master servant relationship is ongoing. Do you understand what I've just said? Very, very important. Listen to this. Serving, real serving that I'm talking about is not an assumed service. You know Abraham and Lot? Those of you know scriptures. Abraham and Lot. Lot was a nephew to Abraham, but their relationship or their servant, the master-servant relationship was not well defined. So at the end, there was a challenge, there was a problem, and even Abraham has to tell Lot to choose first a small boy to him, a nephew to him. But in case of Laban and Jacob, you see, there was a defined relationship. Okay, so what I'm talking about, if you are entering into service with someone, let the service be clearly defined. Let this master-servant relationship be what? Clearly defined. There should be terms and conditions, and the durations should be clearly defined and specified and written down. If possible, the parents of the servant should also sign the document of agreement, unless where the servant or the person serving has no reason, or somebody who can sign for him. But listen to this, I want to repeat this, because many master-servant relationship, especially in the church, in pastoral job, in ministry, in church, in different, even in business, when the duration is not specified, when the terms are not specified, when the conditions are not specified, that relationship may end up in argument or in quarreling or in malice keeping or in hatred. If you're a child of God, don't assume a service. Write everything down. Even if it has to be with your father, it should be clearly defined. Relationship, master-servant relationship. Your father is a plumber and you are a son. You want to learn under your father. Let terms and conditions be well defined. Your father is an electrician and you want to learn under your father. Your mother is a tailor and you want to learn under your mommy. Let everything be clearly defined. Then, if it is not a relation, it's not your uncle, it's not somebody you want to learn with, maybe after learning something like tailoring, after learning something like graphic design, video editing, or website design, you have learned something like tiling a place, you are going to a place to serve. Listen, let everything be well documented. That document should be kept by both parties. Okay, where everything is well defined, the document should be kept by who? Both the master and the servant. Do you understand? Now, let me say something here, very, very important. Look, the best time to serve in your life is from the junior school, between the ages of 10 and before you are 30 years old. Those are the best time to learn skills and to serve and hold your skills to the best level, the highest level. But those of you listen to me, if you are watching this document and you are still below, you are above 30, or you are below 50, you are below 40, and you have not really served under a correct leadership or supervision for up to 3 years, let me tell you one thing. The things will not really be working for you. May I suggest that you can stop what you are doing. It could be ministry, it could be a business, it could be anything, it could be freelancing, anything you are doing. Look, age is not by age. You can be 50 years old, you can be 50 years old, you can be any number of years, you can be 40 years old, you can be 25 years old. You see, that your business will blossom if you serve under a correct leaders or masters. Let me tell you this, Africans are very quick in pointing fingers to Satan as the source or as the one responsible for their failures. When a business is not working, he will not look inward to say, have I actually served someone? Have I actually served someone? Look, there will be a lot of failures when you do not have experience of a correct leadership. I want to tell you something. In life, there is a pathway to success. Or in life, there are pathways to success. Nobody fails on that path if he follows carefully. Nobody fails on that path to success if he follows carefully. You know, most people think that is altar, enemy. Somebody, enemy, is the one worrying them. No enemy is worrying you. Your enemy may be your own enemy, may be yourself. Your own enemy is yourself because you refuse to serve after learning. After learning, go and serve. We are not asking for the prayers of the master, not just because of the prayers. No, but because of the methods. The man is successful. The master is successful. Look for a successful master. Don't serve under a poor master. Don't serve upon somebody who is managing life. Don't serve under someone who is negative. Look after. There is a pathway or service, pathway for service under a correct master. I want to repeat that. Listen, the pathway for success is when you serve under a successful master who shows you all the things he or she is doing. Now, listen to this. One of the pathways to success is what we are teaching at Life Success Mentorship Academy. Number one, go to school. Number two, learn skill and learn it to the topmost top. Number three, serve. Serve under correct leadership for long. Number four, be released to start your own if that is the pathway you choose. But if you do not want to be released, then let the terms of service be well defined while you keep on serving. Because some people don't want to start their own. Some people don't want to. Yes, if you don't want to start your own, Joseph was a successful person. He was a business, he had a lot of business acumen. He was a business guru. He was a prime minister. He served under Pharaoh. Joseph could have established many streams of income, but Joseph never did. He recognized his calling, he stayed in his calling, and he served under Pharaoh till he died. Okay, so if your calling is to remain under the service of someone, let the terms be well defined. Do you understand? You can be serving someone, and yet you can be serving in an establishment, and yet you can have many establishments that people are running for you in case of anything. But as I said, you can identify your ministry, your calling, and know whether you are to be an independent servant of God, an independent minister. Even if you have to be, listen, you have to serve under a master for long and be properly released. Don't forget that word. Be properly what? Exactly. Be properly released. Now, I want to tell you another thing. Listen, if or when you are released to start your own, see to it that you have mentors or leaders that you still report to. Do you get that point? I said, if or when you are released to start your own business or ministry or whatever is your calling, see to it that you have mentors, and not only mentors, but leaders that you report to. Today, I am 62 years old. I am running an independent ministry. Yet I have leaders and people I still report to, even though I have served under leaders before I started. Let me close with this experience I had some years ago when I was serving. I was serving under a pastor. I was an assistant to the pastor. Then one day after church, because I was not living in my own town, after church has closed, that was about 12 or 1, between 12 and 1, I told the man of God, who was my leader, I said, I want to travel to the village. I want to travel to my father's place. I want to go and greet them. It had been long I went home. So I was just feeling I should go home and say hello to my people. And I was going to come back the same day in the evening. And because the following day I need to go to work where I was serving that man of God. And the man of God said, I cannot go. I cannot travel. I said, do we still have any program this afternoon or this evening? He said, no, there was not going to be any program. I said, so I want to travel. He said, I cannot travel. I said, why? He said, he just said, I should not travel. Friend, it wasn't comfortable for me. I was not so happy, but I was not sad. I simply obeyed. That is the power of a servant or a master servant leadership. We're not doing business, it wasn't business, it was ministry something, it was ministry program, it was a ministry relationship. I was a servant. So friends, listen, there are times your master will tell you things that are not reasonable, things that are not logical, things that are not, maybe he want to test your obedience, maybe he want to test your crucifixion, maybe he want to test, I don't know, but listen, learn to serve. Learn to do what? To serve. Okay? If you serve well and serve long, hardly will you fail in life. I am stopping here. Have a wonderful time. Thank you.